Good morning, I'm Marcus Michles, and welcome to this week's edition of our video blog here at Michles & Booth. I'm happy to be joined this morning by our department chairman, president, head guru, czar of the workers' comp division, Brian Carter.
Good morning.
We need to come up you're the comp czar.
I like czar.
Yeah,
Czar's good. It sounds powerful.
Yeah, it's historical.
Yeah.
Nice reference. Yeah, we'll make you the all-powerful one.
Well, that would be the Oz, but I don't know if I'm the wizard.
Okay, well, good. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about workers' comp, and I know about this much, and just enough to be dangerous about workers' comp. But, Brian, you've been here for several years now. I've been here a long time, specialized in comp. I tell everybody, and I believe it when I say it, I think you're the best comp lawyer in the North Florida area. I think you just are heads above any of our competition. You understand the system very well. You do a great job for your clients. Let's do a little bit of education for our viewers, though. Comp, to a layperson like me, strikes me as a very unfair form, a very unfair system. It was designed with fairness in mind, in that the employee was believed to be on an uneven footing with an employer, and so it forces the employer to provide certain benefits. Unfortunately, those benefits are often below market value or substandard, and we find the injured victim on the job site to be battling an uphill climb for benefits, truly.
Absolutely. You know, at the beginning of the 19th century, there was an exchange between employers and employees in terms of the employees gave up pain and suffering, and the employer gave up negligence, and it became a no-fault law, and it was supposed to be an equal give and take. Unfortunately, it seems year after year, the special interest group, the insurance companies, and come to Congress and they lobby, and they've just slowly eroded all of the benefits that the employee initially was granted, and that equal exchange has really flipped, and now it's fully in favor of the insurance company.
So the idea was that the worker didn't have the financial resources to file a lawsuit against the big employer, and the big employer would crush the claimant's claims if they had to litigate. So they took away that litigation option, and what's substituted for it is now kind of a cottage industry. And like the personal injury world, there are certain doctors that have certain labels. They do what they're asked to do by the carriers, and they basically take a very company line, if you will, and it's produced really a very difficult result when you look at it from a fairness perspective.
Well, the insurance companies get to pick the doctors for the most part. There's a few exceptions, but for the most part, they send the injured worker to the doctor of their choosing, which those doctors don't work for the insurance company. A lot of times I hear that term, work comp doctor. And it's not that they work for them, but they have a philosophy of treatment that the insurance company likes, and that's a conservative one that's designed to kind of rush them and get them back to work, focusing on pre-existing conditions rather than the work injuries that cause, and not really giving the injured worker the fair opportunity to treat under the system.
You know, when I cross-examine the witnesses, the doctors that work for the insurance companies in the personal injury world, I always ask them, I say, well, do you have a favorite restaurant? And they kind of say, well, why? And I just ask them, and they say yes. And I say, well, why is it your favorite restaurant? And ultimately, I get to the point, you go to that restaurant because it delivers the service or the food or whatever that you're expecting, that you like. And when you look at the comp system, like the personal injury system, the insurance carriers, they choose their doctors because those doctors are going to deliver what they like.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't go through the phone book going, no. Yeah, this guy will work.
Yeah, I had a defense attorney the other day. They were selecting a specific orthopedic in town and say, well, we'll send your client over there and see what he says. And I said, I got 100 of his reports. I can tell you right now what he's going to say.
Yeah, save your money.
Yeah, you don't even need to say, I'll go ahead and we'll just presume that because it's not going to change. And unfortunately, that's the case. And you've got these guys, they go in, they're hoping to be heard, they're hoping to be listened to, and it just doesn't happen, and certainly doesn't happen if they don't have guidance within the system.
Well, and you're a vanishing breed of sorts. The industry has gotten to the place, and it's been so regulated, and the lobbying on the part of the insurance companies has produced a very low reimbursement rate. Fees for attorneys that work in workers' comp are declining. They get legislated out. When the Supreme Court tries to change it, the lobbyists get in touch with the legislature, and the legislature fixes that. So we find in our community fewer and fewer really talented lawyers that want to practice in the workers' comp area, which in effect, I mean, it has the economic impact of having these claimants not be able to get good representation.
Absolutely.
And then the fair fight diminishes one step further.
Yeah, I mean, I've had clients tell me that's all you make, and well, don't tell Marcus, let's not point that out, but it's true, and especially on we get paid now based on a percent of what we get the injured worker. Well, if an insurance company is denying something like a prescription or a doctor bill, or something that in the grand scheme may have what seems like a small value, it's very important to someone that's in pain to get their Wartab or get their prescription medication. But if I'm only getting paid a very small percent, there's a lot of attorneys that won't fight that, won't pursue that, because it's just economically, it's hard to keep the lights on. Yeah. And the insurance companies know that. Yeah. And they're doing everything they can to squeeze those benefits and erode it so that the injured worker is just frustrated and wants to just get out of the system and leave it or abandon their claims. But right now there's a case up in front of the Florida Supreme Court that's hopefully going to address that. Attorneys' fees are not just designed to make the lawyer money. They're designed to keep the insurance company in check, because when they don't do what they're supposed to do, see, that's what they don't ever mention. We only get paid when they fail to provide our clients the benefits that they're entitled to. They don't mention that when they go talking about how much lawyers make. The real question is, if we're making that much, you're not doing what you're supposed to do under the law.
And just as a way that you do business, I think it's still true. You meet with every single one of your workers' comp inquiries.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's getting rare in this industry. Paralegals and secondary providers are usually the ones interfacing with the clients initially. It's worked up by staff. That's not the way you do it. I'm very proud to say, I'm very proud to see the way that you practice. You meet with every one of your workers' comp people, and they get a lawyer. They don't get a paralegal. Obviously, they're a paralegal and extended staff that support you, but you meet with these folks yourself.
Well, and I think it's important because a lot of times you'll meet with them. Sometimes you realize it's not in their best interest right now to get a lawyer. They may have suffered something that's a minor injury, and getting a lawyer involved could just complicate things. They're treating them with physical therapy and able to get right back to work. But coming in and talking to me, they can learn about their rights and what that opportunity is, and they can make that informed choice, and we can help them. And we always tell them we're always available. But, for a lot of people that have suffered injuries, certainly, I always tell them they don't know what they don't know. And it's hard to know whether the insurance company is doing what they're actually supposed to do if you don't know what to look for. And a lot of times they think that they're getting benefits that they're entitled to under the law. I have a lot of clients that get shipped all the way over to Fort Walton Beach or Destin for those doctors that we just talked about. Yeah. And they don't know that the insurance company can't send them that far away from home. They shouldn't have to travel 2-hour round trip to go see a doctor. That's just inappropriate. And that's one of the things we've gone and fought in front of the judge, say they can't do that. They have to send them to a local physician. Well,
good. Well, if you've got questions about workers' comp, you've been injured on the job, Brian's the man.
Czar.
The Czar, yeah, Czar Brian. And does that pass lineally? I mean, were your descendants then inherit the title?
I'll go to Ancestry.com, check that out, see what kind of titles might be passed on.
Yeah. So check us out. Give us a call. Obviously, call consultations are free, and Brian's available here. He works in 3 cities like I do. We all work in Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, or Pensacola. If you've got any questions, give us a call, or look for us on forthevictims.com/blog, and we'll talk to you next week.